Now, for our final guest of the night, I am joined with North Andover CAM legend, I would say, Phyllis Jones. She is the chair of the North Andover Commission on Ability Assistance, and she is also the co-host for the Ability Assistance show that runs on North Andover CAM. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for
today.
having me. Thank you for having me. I wasn't expecting it. I'm wearing my Americans with Disabilities Act t-shirt that I got in Boston last week, celebrating the 31st anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Wow, that's amazing, and it's amazing that events like that are starting to happen again.
Yes.
It's so important, I think, and something we've been talking about a lot tonight is, you know, how the community of North Andover has been affected by the recent crises that have been going on for really the past 3 years.
Yes.
And I know you do a lot of work on, you know, disabilities and, you know, ability assistance in general. How has that community been affected by these crises?
They've been affected in ways that I can't even go through. You know, you've got mobility issues, so people not being able to just go here, there, and everywhere. I know that, you know, everybody's been affected by mobility issues, but when you have somebody who has a mobility disability, it's made it that much more difficult for them to go and be able to just live and do and be. I can tell you from personal experience, my son is in a sub-separate classroom at North Andover Middle School, and kids who are on IEPs during the school years, you know, being out and being the way it was, that was just almost an impossibility in and of itself for most parents.
Yeah.
Because we rely on our teachers. Our teachers are there, you know, to teach, and they do a fantastic job teaching, but a lot of these kids need hands-on experience, and, you know, mom and dad isn't necessarily the right ones to do it.
Yeah.
And food had been an issue. We were very, very fortunate that there were food pantries and, you know, assistance that way. But the community, the disability community, the disabled community as a whole, unfortunately, are not necessarily seen and heard as much. So the issues and the problems that they were affected with because of it were that much more difficult for them.
Yeah. I know you've been a huge advocate, I'm sure, you know, even before these crises have happened. But I'd love to hear some of the work that your Commission on Ability Assistance have done for the disabled community.
Well, first off, we're all appointed by the Board of Selectmen to serve 3-year terms. I actually just was reappointed for my next 3-year term.
So exciting. Congratulations.
So I'm excited about that. And what our actual job is if somebody says, there's a traffic light that's needed to help me cross the street here, they should come to me or somebody else in the town, but I'm the person that, you know, would be really their best advocate. And then I can approach the town and say, hey, I've had people come to me regarding this particular issue. Can we look into it? I just spent, probably a half hour, 40 minutes walking around with Senator Tarr, who you just interviewed, talking to him about some needs we need regarding handicapped accessibility in this particular area, talking to him about possibly getting closed captioning for things like community television. And working that way to see about bringing other services into the town. We host Ability Assistance on CAM, where we're able to bring in nonprofit or government agencies to talk about different services that they offer, in the hopes of making sure that more people learn about it than maybe an in-person event that not enough people might be able to hear about.
Yeah.
And as you know, everything you guys have is on YouTube. So, you know, if somebody wants to see an old episode of using the voter machine, they can use that episode. In fact, when I was in Boston and they had the voting commission there, they were like, have you used the AutoMark machine? I'm like, not only have we used it, but we actually had a former town clerk come on and show and do a little demo of it, and I gave them the YouTube link in the hopes that they said they might use it in Boston to use it as a way of showing people how to use the AutoMark machine.
Wow, that is amazing. I mean, I've just always been so impressed with all of the work that you've done.
Thank you.
I know Ability Assistance has taken a brief hiatus for the summer,
Yes.
but you will be back in the fall.
Yes,
So
we currently have our dates set up. You helped us get our dates for September, October, November, and December. We're in the process of booking some guests. What I can tell you though is our December date, we've got all 4 members of our state delegation. Both senators and both state reps have agreed to come on board on our December date to talk about legislation pending on Beacon Hill as it affects the disabled community.
wow, that's huge.
That's going to be a huge one. I hope you're my director then.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta be. Well, thank you so much for sitting down
Thank
with me.
you.
Everyone, be sure to stay tuned for those important upcoming Ability Assistance shows, especially the one in December.
Yep, but you can catch all of them right on YouTube. And I heard you guys are on Roku now?
Yes, I think we are. So we'll have to. I'm not too much sure about how to access it, but
Hey,
it's very interesting.
It's
Here.
the Screenweave app.
Screenweave app. Okay, stay tuned for more info on that. We'll have to put out a little directions on how to do it. Maybe look at our bulletins.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, that would be super fun. All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank
for joining me.
you, and we'll wave goodbye to Senator Tarr.
Goodbye, Senator Tarr. Thank you. Well, this has been a great night here for our first national night out in 3 years. So I'm very glad that you were my last guest to close this out.
Thank you for inviting me. I
Of course,
appreciate it.
of
Usually
course.
I'm in your seat saying,
I know. So it's like I'm so honored. So I have been Gabby Griffiths, and this has been a great night. Thank you, everyone who has tuned in. And be sure to catch reruns of this on North Andover Cam's channel. I believe this will be airing on the Access channel. So yes, be sure to stay tuned. Thank you.